Well, welcome back to the True Blue Everton Podcast as we head towards the new season in the Premier League. And joining me, as always, is Tony Grant, former Everton, Manchester City and Burnley midfielder. But we only really concentrate on the Everton bit, don't we, To? But look, we're nearly there, Tony. That excitement, of the new season is upon us. Do you think there is an excitement amongst the Everton fans going into this week?
I don't know if excitement. I think everyone's just looking forward to getting back to Saturday afternoons, going to watch football. Are we excited? But a lot of fans probably haven't been excited since the 80s, to be honest with you, Alan, going starting the season. But are we looking forward to going to our stadium for the first game of the season? Well, I for one am. Just to go back, it's like a habit, isn't it? As I said to you loads of times, it is like going to church, isn't it? So everyone's going back to church basically. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure everyone is looking forward to it. Yeah.
I saw the hot walk had opened, for the Lille game and all these things, and then you start to, and it's nice in a way because obviously last season was all new, wasn't it? But it's nice in a way that we're now starting to get familiar with walking down Regent Road and and walking, and we all know where we're going now, and and all the little things like the Heritage Society up above, and so it is starting to feel like a bit more of a home, isn't it now, Hill Dickinson?
Yeah, and I suppose things do change, take time, don't they? I mean, I was only at Goodison yesterday, and it's sad down there now. The Winslows look sad. The stadium looks sad. So everything, time moves on. Everything moves on, doesn't it? So it took us 12 months to move on, but I think you're right. I think we're starting to really understand that we can park our car 5-10 miles away and walk into the stadium.
Yeah, we don't mind the walk. We're ready for it, aren't we?
We're ready for it now, yeah.
Listen, well, on that note, do you think Everton are ready for it? Just before you answer that, Moyes has come out today and thinks he's still some way away from being ready to for a Premier League season. I mean, which is quite an interesting comment.
Well, I think it's poor to say that. I haven't heard him say we're miles away from the Premier League. I mean, we've had the same time off as everyone else in the Premier League, so that means everyone should be miles away from the Premier League this year. So I don't welcome that quote. Are we where?
I think he means from a business point of view. I think he means from getting what he wants in and where he wants his squad to be. Because it's still 2 weeks of the window. I think we saw on Saturday that the team is ready. They really competed against Lille and looked good in parts. So I don't think he means in that respect. I think he means from where he wants his squad to be. Getting ready for the new season.
Yeah, for me, Al, I mean, yeah, I get all that then. So you've had probably best part of 12 months to really find two new fullbacks, right? Not 6 weeks, because we all knew at the start of last season that we need a right back and a left back. So you've had, as a club, you've had over 12 months to find a new left back and a new right back. And now we're going into the season next on Saturday. And the manager's come out. What you're saying there is we haven't got the players we want. Well, we've been waiting for a long time for them. I mean, I'm sure there's players out there in Europe who you can go and find. I don't want to go in the start of the season and see Jake O'Brien right back. I really don't.
No.
Do you know what I mean? And that's not against Jake O'Brien, by the way, because I like Jake O'Brien. But I just don't want to go in the first game of the season and he's your right back because, in the end, you're almost seeing what you're seeing last season. But do I think we're in a better position? Yeah, I do think we're in a much better position as long as we can keep Branthwaite fit. I think he's like a Rolls Royce. So if he's starting the season, I think we're in a better position already. And I think Brennan Johnson is a better acquisition for us than Dwight McNeil. I think that was a great move because it's what you'd call a no-brainer, isn't it? Really,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
a no-brainer. It's like
I
it's an
agree with
easy
that.
one. Even if he doesn't set the world alight, we know he can run.
Yeah,
So we know he's got a little bit of pace. And I think the kid in midfield from Borough, even though I wasn't sure, I thought we needed other positions beforehand. He's a good player. The kid's a good footballer, so he'll be a welcome addition. I think the fans will take to him. Obviously, we've got to see if he can do it in the Prem. I'm sure he can do it in the Prem, but he is a lovely footballer. So I think we're in a better position squad wise. Apart from the only thing we haven't improved on is the strike force.
yeah. Well, a right back and a strike force. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
you've mentioned the right
yeah,
back. Um,
yeah,
Look, I think from what I hear, I think there's a right back coming before the start of the season. Whether or not they'll be available for Saturday, because
yeah.
that's a big ask to come in the same week and start, on the Saturday. But certainly if they get that right back position, but I get the feeling, I know, I think there was a lot of hope that they would go and get Doué from Strasbourg. It doesn't look as though the club have got the money to do that because he was going to cost in excess of £40 million. 40 million euros at least. So I don't see that, which is a shame. Listen, we're at a pivotal point here, aren't we, with Everton? Because I mean, we've been at a lot of pivotal points over the years with them, since 1995, really. But in particular this season, because I think, okay, there were some good things about last season. We were probably challenging for Europe when we probably weren't expecting to be. In the end, it fizzled out rather disappointingly. But I mean, when you look at where we are as a club now, I guess the question is being asked, what do you want to be to the owners? Where do you want to be? Do you want to be a sort of middle of the table side, just treading water in the Premier League and making sure you stay in the Premier League? Or are you someone who wants to challenge the top six? Because that's essentially, I mean, okay, we should be, if you listen to Neville Southall, we should be going to win the league every season we start. But let's get rid of all that because that's not reality. But the reality is, if you're an Everton Football Club, one of the longest in the Premier League, one of the longest in the top flight of English football, you want to be going into that top six, really, don't you? You want to be challenging that. Whether we're ready to, but is it a question of the owners? Where do you want to be with this football club?
Well, yeah, definitely. And the flip side of that for me, Alan, is you haven't got to go and spend hundreds of millions of pounds to prove that you
No.
want to be somewhere, right?
Yeah.
For me, going and matching, being entertained, and showing us we've got an exciting way of playing football,
Mm.
right, would be something that you can do as a coaching team
Yeah.
if that's how you see football. If we're just setting up in basically a 4-5-1 and centre half and the oppositions are having 300 touches of the ball, which I've seen many times last year, we're going to fall back into the same debates of last season,
Right.
where it's tiring, it's boring to watch. So the flip side of it is, for me, is if the football doesn't change, regardless of what they spend, are they going to eventually make a decision and change the football? Or what you're saying there, are they happy with Moyes football and finishing mid-table or lower than
Yeah.
mid-table? So the other part of it is, when you were talking about the owners, is the owners haven't been to watch us yet. So I think
No.
there's a big debate on what their thirst is for Everton Football Club. So we are left in a little bit of a limbo. Do we just get on with it and, it is what it is? Or is someone going to come and shake it up? I mean, when they first bought the club, I remember tweeting that, you've bought something which you don't realise how big the club is yet. But you can you'll have a lovely shock. You'll have a great shock if you really invest in the club. And that
Mm.
doesn't just mean money, it means turn up and have a love for the club,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
and want to entertain the fans and want to do the right thing. Not just go back into the old ways of just putting up with it. So I think time will tell, but let's just see how the football goes start of the season for me.
Yeah. But I mean, in today's world, in today's Premier League, there's no two ways about it. You've got to spend money if you want to get up to
Yeah,
the top. I get your point about the coaching. 100%, you're right. but you do have to. At the end of the day, you do. Okay, you might do a Leicester, you might do, a Brighton, possibly, but you have to spend money to be a sustained challenge at the top of the Premier League. And you look at what they're doing at Roma now, and they've got Champions League football. But do you look at that and think, well, hang on a minute, if you did this with Everton in the Premier League, it's such a bigger prize, isn't it? With a Premier League club.
Yeah, but don't forget, Al, we have spent a lot of money with previous managers and previous scouting
That's true.
systems,
Yeah.
and it doesn't guarantee you anything.
No.
What we've got, even last season, there was plenty of times, you go back to watching Jack play early on. Jack's a lovely footballer. He never once left that wing for one. He's just constantly stuck there. Nothing ever changed. If one striker weren't playing well, he comes off. The other one does exactly the same. He comes on. Young Ndiaye wasn't doing anything on the right. He needed to go on the left. And nothing was ever changing. It was just the same every week. We had many games at Bramley Moor where we should have been well beaten, and we ended up we beat Palace. We got battered by Palace with
Yeah.
football. Couldn't get the ball off them.
Mm.
And what I'm scared of is just going back into that again, where we will stay up, because there's always going to be 3, 4, 5, 6 teams who are nowhere near the level. The 3 who come up this year will do really well to stay up. So you're always going to stay up. But it's the manner for me. Now, if you're going to give them a load of money, you've got to go and spend it, right? Because we spent 40 million on dribbling last year and never give the kid a game. We never got a game. So you can go and spend 200 million on 4 players and not play them if you don't want to play them. So for me, though, Al, it's what you see on the pitch.
But the lack of us knowing who's buying the players, how it works, because we don't know how all that works. We don't. Well, I certainly did, cut them some slack last season because there were new people. There was a new CEO, there was a new recruitment committee, if you like. Yeah. There were relatively new owners, there was a new manager. It was all that needed time to gel. But that excuse can't be used this summer, I don't think, because people have got to know each other. They know what's required. They know what they want from each other and what the other person needs. So, is there an argument that, we should be doing better recruitment wise? When you look, it's from a communication point of view for me that we don't understand, because we've not heard from the owners. We've heard a little bit from the CEO, which didn't go well because of words. I knew what he was trying to say, but it got hijacked by the fact that he used a term which didn't go down well with the fans. But do we need to understand what their thinking is, and where they see the club going?
Well, it'd be nice to see them. It'd be nice to understand what they're doing when it comes to recruitment. No, I don't really buy it, because what happens is, at the moment everyone's waiting for an excuse to hide behind. So if all of a sudden we play Saturday and it's not going great, they're going to say, well, I haven't got my players in. But if we win on Saturday, they're not going to say that. You know what I mean? For me, it's like I'm more interested in what I see on the pitch. You've got good enough players to do something. We've got arguably players who can get in the top 4. I am disappointed that they haven't got a striker. I am, because I do think the 2 strikers we've got are nowhere near the level, and
we talked every week, didn't we? After every game,
I'll stand on it right now, and they'll have people who tell me that Barry's young and all that, but I just can't see it at all. Even if he was, I just see him playing the same game last year, this year, and I hope I get proven wrong, but I don't see it. And I think we need a striker. Desperately need a striker. We haven't got one. And then it just goes back to the style of football we're going to play. It really does. What are we going to be doing this year? So time will tell whether Moyes brings us a bit of a fresh idea of playing football. He's got young Hackney in midfield, who's a good footballer. Yeah. So I don't want Hackney always defending. I want him to get the ball and have a bit of freedom and go and play. So time will tell, and then I suppose the owners will soon come out and tell you where they are. Because if results aren't great, I'd expect them to change quite sharp as the owners if football doesn't change. But as I say, it's a guessing game, isn't it?
Well, it all comes down in the end to where the pressure comes on, doesn't it?
Yeah.
In football clubs. Look, as far as those new signings, which one are you most excited to see?
Um, my favourite player is Enzai, and I know he's not a new signing, but
So you
I'm
can't
looking.
have him.
Can't have him, but I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to him play. He had a little break. He had a little World Cup, so
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to him coming back and playing. So he's my favourite player. I'm looking forward to watching Branthwaite. I'll be honest with you, I really am. I think
It'll
he's
be
head
like
and
a new signing this season, won't it?
yeah, I think he's head and shoulders above. I mean, I think the kid's a top four player. All honesty, I really do. Obviously, with Hackney started pre-season well, but he's not
Yeah.
playing the Prem, so he's a lovely footballer. Whether he's got the power to make a difference in the Prem, we'll see. But he is a nice footballer. So for me, the one who I'm looking forward to is probably Branthwaite, which probably isn't going to excite no one because he's a defender. But I'm not looking forward to watching our forwards play football. I'll be honest with you, I'm not. Um, but you never know, make a rude awakening there, mightn't I?
Would you pair Branthwaite with Jake O'Brien from day one?
All day, all day, Al. I mean, I think it's been crying out to see that partnership. On whether they've played it in pre-season, I'm not sure, but I don't take pre-season. I take it with a pinch of salt anyway. But for me, I was looking at going this season with a flying right back, a flying left back, two good centre halves, and them two. And on your bench, you've got Tarkowski and Keane, experienced
Come
ones.
on,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
they get experienced ones on the bench, and we could easily go into the start of the season with almost the same back four as last season.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, at this moment in time, that's probably what we will do. In
Yeah, yeah.
fairness, but unless Asnu comes in instead of Mikolenko, which I don't see personally.
That'd be
I
very
think
surprised.
Asnu,
Yeah,
I think Asnu's had a good pre-season in many ways when I've seen him play,
yeah,
but I still think you go with the experienced Mikolenko in a way. But
yeah.
look, or they will go with that. As far as the Premier League season ahead. What are you? I mean, what are your aspirations? What are your, not your hopes? Because we'll all have big hopes. But what do you think realistically will happen with Everton this season?
Do you know? I say it every year, Al. I don't really look at the league table for Everton. I want Everton to actually play good footy, and it'll take us where it's going to take us. Then, right? For me to say I want us to be in the top five, the top six, I'd rather us just go and play a really good brand of football, and that will take us because we've got some good players. It will take us not far from that position, and that's with everyone else playing well. Um, do I think we're capable of it with the forward line? I don't think over the full season, if that doesn't change, I don't think you can really. I think the top six will be beyond us. Can you finish seventh, eighth, ninth? Of course you can, because the teams who you're fighting with, it's almost how the mighty have fallen, isn't it? You're fighting with Brentfords and Brightons and Fulhams. You know, um, surely we should have enough to finish above them or alongside them the way it's going these days. I don't see us finishing any lower than that. I think it's a terrible season with probably our wage structure and the players we've got to finish below the top 10. But I don't want to be talking about the top 10. I want to be talking as high up. But I don't expect us to really challenge the top six teams. I
We got
don't.
a smell, didn't we? Of well, there was one point I think after the Chelsea game last season where we had the smell of the Champions League. Never mind
Yeah,
Europe, but
yeah,
we got the smell of it, and the desire is there from the fans, isn't it? They really want to do that, and I think, in fairness, you saw. Until this, I think maybe the derby, and we were both there. The derby sort of killed a lot of the, it really knocked the stuffing out of Everton. That late winner for Liverpool, but you saw the desire, I think, in the manager. You saw the desire in a lot of the players, all wanting to do well. And I think we have to challenge for Europe, don't we? I mean, I just don't see what's the point. What's the point if you're not going at least for a European place?
yeah. No, listen. I think every club, if you want to evolve, I think you have to have European football. You do. 'Cause, we want to, in the end, playing teams from different countries at your stadium, home and away. It only improves the players you've got. So I think it's a place we need to get to. Will we get there this year? I don't see us challenging the top six. I really don't. I don't think we're anywhere near it. But as I said, can we finish in the European places just behind it? I think we can. But I do think we're in a fight with your Brightons and your Brentfords, and it's whether we're better than them.
Yeah. As far as the rest of the Premier League is concerned, I've done my prediction for the league. So to make it easier, because I think I've just thrown this on you on top of you, really.
You have Alden.
Yeah, I'll help you in that respect because I'll give you mine first. And you know, I'm looking at the top four.
Yeah.
And my top four is in fourth place. I've got Manchester.
Are you doing them all in actual order? Are you? Yes.
Yeah, I've got the league table here. You know, with the final league table in my head, and it'll annoy a few people, I'm sure. Although you know the Evertonians won't be so bad. But in top four, I've got Manchester City because I see them in a transitional period with the manager. You look at remember what happened when Fergie went from United. Mourinho from Chelsea and a few other instances like that where I think when you change your manager who is as good as Pep Guardiola, I think it can only cause some sort of transition, you know. So I think they will drop. And looking at them on Sunday, I think it was, wasn't it, with the Charity Shield, Community Shield, you know, I mean, they looked worse than fourth, but I think they will finish fourth. In third, I've got Liverpool because I think they will be. I think they'll be more improved from last season, but I just think the top two that I've got are probably just a bit better than them. Be interesting because obviously we're still a couple of weeks away from the end of the transfer window, so things can change. In second place, and this is where it gets a bit controversial, I've got Arsenal because and you look at their squad, and someone said to me today, just look at their squad; it's unbelievable, you know, and it is because you know they've added Guimaraes from Newcastle. They've added others as well. They've lost a couple with injury, but you know. But the reason I say that is because it's very, very difficult to retain the Premier League title, you know, for anybody. I think there's only Manchester United and Man City that have done it, I think. And then at the top of the table, I've got Chelsea because I just feel that a new manager, they've sort of getting a squad together now, which looks like an actual squad rather than just a 40 odd players, you know, which is what they've looked like over the last few years. And I think Arsenal might just slip in the way. I think they'll be good enough, and I think they'll be probably the best team in many ways. But I just think the pressure, because the pressure got to them a little bit last season near the end, and I just think the pressure of trying to retain that title. They may just lose out to Chelsea in there. Yeah. And then I'm going to go into the sort of European spots underneath the top four. And I've got Man United at 5, Spurs at 6, Aston Villa at 7. And I don't know whether it goes down to 8 this year, but I've got Everton in 8th, which I'm glad because we've talked about that and you've said that that's possible. So Man United, I think they will be much improved, but I think, you know, they'll be different, but I think the other 4 will be just a bit better than them. Spurs, I think you won't see what you've seen over the last couple of seasons from Spurs, not with De Zerbi in charge and not with, you know, the new players that they're bringing in. They spend a lot of money. Villa, I think, will drop away a little bit because they've got European football and all the rest of it that goes with it. They've lost a couple of players, haven't they? You know, key players, and not really added that well. And Everton, I just think they'll fight, and there'll be a fight there. You know, I think they'll have something about them. And I think if we had that right back and we had a striker before the window closes on the 1st of September, we'll do okay. Then I'm going at 9 Brentford, 10 Sunderland, 11 Brighton, 12 Leeds, 13 Nottingham Forest, Newcastle down in 14th, Bournemouth in 15th, because I think European football will cause them a problem playing, you know, midweek weekends, most weekends, or most weeks. Then I'm looking at Crystal Palace because they've lost what I think is one of the best managers in the Premier League. And then I'm looking at Fulham maybe in 17th place. I am a little bit worried about Fulham. I think they might, you know, they've lost Marco Silva. I'm not sure who they bought, to be honest. But I'm gonna go and stick my neck out and say that the 3 promoted clubs will be the ones that go down. I just don't think they are strong enough. It's like next season, you could have Wolves, you could have West Ham, you could have Southampton all coming back because they are pretty much established Premier League teams over the years. I don't think, well, I know Coventry, Hull City are not, and they were not the best in the Championship, strangely enough, even though Coventry won it. I didn't think they were the best team. Ipswich, I think, again, from a purchasing point of view, I think they will struggle. So that's mine. Without putting you on this.
Well, you've given me a lot of information here, Al. Loads of information. I mean,
hey, I've taken my time with it, haven't I?
Well, you've just put it on me now. So, I mean, I can't do all the
Well, give me
teams because I
your
don't even
top
know
four.
That's what I'm saying.
Give me the top
narrow it
four.
down, right? I'll give you
Yeah.
my top
Give
6.
me your top
Right.
4. Give me your bottom 3, and give me Everton's position.
All right. I'll tell you who will win the league. Arsenal will win the league. Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So we know that, right?
Yeah.
Second, third, and fourth. Okay. I see City finishing second.
Okay.
I
Even after
see.
Sundays.
I just think. Well, they've got the best striker in the league, haven't they?
That's a good point.
And they have got the best striker, and they'll lick the wounds on the weekends, and they've got some fantastic footballers, haven't they? So. I mean, you got them in the top 4, so they're not going to be up the top 4, are they? So they're not going to finish first, second, third, or fourth. But I just think Arsenal will be too strong for everyone. And I hear what you're saying, retaining and all that.
No, I think being sensible, that's the right thing to say.
Yeah.
I just think they might fall down on that pressure bit.
Yeah, well, I think Bruno's a massive signing. I think he reminds me of an old-fashioned midfielder who he'll kick you if it's the right time to kick you, but he can also play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was made up Liverpool never got him, to be honest with you, because I thought
Yeah.
they were crying out for someone to protect the back four, and they never got him, so I was made up they never got him. The teams that finished third for me, I think Liverpool will finish third.
Okay.
I think Chelsea will finish fourth.
Okay.
I think Notts Forest will finish fifth.
Notts Forest.
Yeah.
Wow.
You got a bit of a laugh, a bit of a smile there, didn't you? Yeah.
Well, it shocked me, that one.
Yeah.
By the way, as my dad used to tell me, it's Nottingham Forest, not Notts Forest.
That's
anyway.
correct. It's Nottingham Forest. That's right. So I think Nottingham Forest is going to surprise everyone. I think they'll be the dark horse this year. I think Chelsea will come next.
You've had Chelsea already. Man United next.
Man United next. No, Tottenham next. Then Man U.
Tottenham. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
Tottenham, Man U. I don't fancy Villa this year. I think Villa will finish round about where Newcastle finish. 10th, 11th, 12th, around that area. I just don't see it. I didn't see Villa last year. I didn't think they were that good last year, to be honest with you. Where do we see Everton finishing? It's a tough one. I'll say 8th. You know what I mean? But can they finish lower than that? Yeah. Can they finish a touch higher? Probably. So I'll say they're going to finish 8th.
Yeah, it feels that way, doesn't it? It feels 8th, doesn't it?
I just don't know what you're really going to get, because if we'd have got a new forward, I'd have been much more excited going into the game. But I can't get excited with our 2 strikers. I really can't. So I'm going to say 8th. And in the bottom 3, I think, as you just said, I think Hull will finish bottom, and it'll just be the other 2 who came up.
You don't see it, do you? You don't see the squads are not strong enough, are they?
Nah, don't see it.
No.
No.